Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yamunatira Vanachari Yamunatira Vanachari Jayo Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jayo Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Jayo Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jayo Gauranitai, 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 Jai Gauranitai. Jayo Jagannath, Jagannath, Baladeva Jai Shri Subhadra. Jayo Radha Vallabh, Radha Vallabh, Radha Vallabh Shri Radhe. Jai Radha Vallabh, Radha Vallabh Shri Radhe. Prabhupada, 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 Jai Jai Prabhupada. Jayo Jai Prabhupada, 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 Jai Jai Prabhupada. जय श्रीपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य सतरशत श्री श्रीमद चरणारविंद भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी श्रील प्रभुपाद की, अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की, ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की, जनिताई गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि. All glories to assembled devotees, all glories to assembled devotees, all glories to Shri Shri Guru and Gauranga, all glories to Srila Prabhupada की जय. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Reading from Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, Canto 9, Chapter 19, verse number 17. Matra svarshad hutrava. Matra svarshad hutrava. Naviviktasano bhavet. Naviviktasano bhavet. Balavan indriya gramo. Balavan indriya gramo. Vidvamsam api karshati. Vidvamsam api karshati. Matra svarshad huitrava. Naviviktasano bhavet. Balavan indriya gramo. Vidvamsam api karshati. Matra svarshad huitrava. Navi viktasano bhavet. Balavan indriya gramo. Vidvamsam api karshati. Viktasano bhavet. Balavan Indriya Gramo. Matra Swasradu Hitrava. Viktasano Bhave. Balavan Indriya Gramo. Vidvamsam api karshati. Mataji's. Matra Swasradu Hitrava. Viktasano Bhave. Balavan Indriya Gramo. Vidvamsam api karshati. Matra Swasradu Hitrava. Viktasano Bhave. Balavan Indriya Gramo. Vidvamsam api karshati. Matra with one's mother. Swasra with one's sister. Dohitra with one's own daughter. Va either. Na not. Avivikta asana seated closely on one seat. Bhavet one should be. Balavan very strong. Indriya gramaha the group of senses. Vidvamsam the very learned and advanced person. Api even. Karshati agitates. Translation. One should not allow oneself to sit on the same seat even with one's own mother, sister or daughter. For the senses are so strong that even though one is very advanced in knowledge, he may be attracted by sex. You can repeat the translation. One should not allow oneself to sit on the same seat, even with one's own mother, sister or daughter. For the senses are so strong that even though one is very advanced in knowledge, he may be attracted by sex. Purport by Srila Prabhupada, His Divine Grace, Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Learning the etiquette on how to deal with women does not free one from sexual attraction. As specifically mentioned herewith, such attraction is possible even with one's mother, sister or daughter. Generally, of course, one is not sexually attracted to his mother, sister or daughter. But if one allows himself to sit very close to such a woman, one may be attracted. This is a psychological fact. It may be said that one is liable to be attracted if he is not very advanced in civilized life. However, as specifically mentioned here, with Vidvamsam api karshati, even if one is highly advanced materially or spiritually, he may be attracted by lusted desires. The object of attraction may even be one's mother, sister or daughter. Therefore, one should be extremely careful in dealings with women. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was most strict in such dealings, especially after he accepted the sannyas order. Indeed, no woman could come near him to offer him respect. Again, one is warned herewith that one should be extremely careful in dealings with women. A brahmachari is forbidden even to see the wife of his spiritual master if she happens to be young. The wife of spiritual master may sometimes take some service from the disciples of her husband, as she would from a son. But if the wife of the spiritual master is young, a brahmachari is forbidden to render service to her. Om Jnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Jena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupakada Mayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuthapadakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvetam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpaturubhascha Kripa Sindhu Bevacha Patitanam Pavane Bhyo Vaishnave Bhyo Namo Namaha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Śrīmate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gaurvani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschata Deshatarine. Hare Krishna. So these are some of the final realizations or discussions that is coming before Yajati achieves liberation. Very instructive verse, very strong purport also. No compromise, no leeway given to the wandering senses. Prabhupada in the purport makes a very stark statement. He says, people may think, oh, in uncivilized society it may happen that someone may get attracted to mother, sister or daughter. But here the word uses vidvamsam api karshati. That even those who are very learned materially or spiritually can get agitated. So, so much of discussion has already happened in all the previous verses, purports about the effects of attraction between men and women and what all it can lead to, even though it is a natural attraction. There is no training given to a teenager on how to feel attracted towards opposite sex. It is just so natural. But where this natural instinct is coming from is from our previous expressions of that same desire in previous lives. And how many lives? No count. How many times a he cockroach is attracted to she cockroach, a she goat is attracted to he goat, a he tiger is attracted to she tiger, on and on and on and on. In so many species, we have already got this natural attraction. So it is as if this attraction is as if natural to the soul. But the fact is, it is natural to the false ego which identifies with this body. It has nothing to do with the soul for that matter. And because it has nothing to do with the soul, but the appearance is so natural, society at large would not discourage it. Even many world religions, we hear about very prominent religions, and they would laugh at the whole concept of monkhood or the whole concept of taking sannyas or someone trying to curb this desire altogether. Because they say, oh, it is so natural. It is as if a gift by God, which it is. Krishna would not make such a strong statement in Bhagavad Gita as he said, Dharma viruddha bhuteshu kamosmi bharatarshava. That union between man and woman which leads to a progeny based on dharma, Krishna is saying that is me. Actually, if you think about it, it's a very bold, strong statement. That in all the verses, Krishna is saying that union is me, and the result that comes out is me. I am that union between man and woman. Because that's how generations would come. That's how even great personalities are born. That's how even sages appear, and that's how many times the avatars appear. Not all, but at least some. So, this action or this desire, this inclination appears so intensely natural that such statements in scriptures are given. We have heard Prabhupada saying this many times, this particular verse. I was very excited when I found out it's here. I thought he's just quoting some Manu Samhita or something he was quoting always, but I didn't know it was coming from Bhagavatam. So I thought sometimes Prabhupada would quote Chanakya Niti. He would quote some very famous statement from someone, but it is a statement from Śrīmad Bhāgavatam. So very strong, very powerful. Now the question comes, we hear prayers by many acharyas, many devotees, when they pray that in a very famous verse, a very famous prayer, many devotees even in front of the deities they offer, Yuvuti nam yatha yuno cha yuvato yatha tatha viramate mano viramtam tvai. Something like that. That how a young boy is so naturally attracted towards young girl, or a young girl is so naturally attracted towards a young boy. This devotee is begging the Lord that, my dear Lord, please, when will that day come that I get naturally attracted to you? It is as if there is a force. You're walking and you don't want to see, but head turns. And the force is so out of control that later you find out, oh, I did it again. I did it again. So the prayer of this devotee is, my dear Lord, when will that day come that this natural attraction I will have for you? That no one has to tell me, okay, have you chanted properly? No one has to encourage me. Kartik month doesn't have to come where I increase my reading or chanting, or I improve my japa, or I improve wherever I am lacking. This natural, very inbuilt inclination to think, hear and chant about Krishna, when will that day come? And these prayers gives us amazing insight, a lot of detail about the mind and heart of the quality of prayers devotees can have. Most of the prayers are just so superficially based when we go in front of the deities that for a materialist, if they are religious and materialist simultaneously, their prayers will be naturally towards fixing their material problem, but they believe that there is a higher power, and somehow due to some tradition or some engagement with devotees, they accept Krishna as God, so they approach Krishna to fix those problems. But after good quality association of devotees, then a person may come to conclusion that, oh, maybe not all the time I should ask, fix this or fix that. Maybe sometimes I should say, Krishna, please, I want to be a devotee, please bless me with devotion. And then maybe during Damodar Ashtakam or months like this, we may really, really pray, please give me bhakti. Namo akshe graho mesti damodareha. Just give me bhakti, just give me bhakti. When you ask most of the devotees, do you want to go to Swarga? No, I want Golok Vrindavan. Do you want Mukti? No, I want Golok Vrindavan. One of the reasons we pray like that is because we have no idea what happiness is there in Swarga. If given a chance, we would not opt for Golok Vrindavan. We will naturally go for heavenly abodes. And how do you see that? Is because we try to create heavenly abode here also. With our big houses, big cars, better facility materially. And that exactly gives a hint that we will naturally choose heavenly abodes if we know exactly what happens there. We will naturally choose peaceful environment around us if we really understand what moksha is on top of Golok Vrindavan. Because that's what we always want. Non-anxiety atmosphere, very happy, peaceful atmosphere, no pressure for Krishna's service, everything should be nice around me. Why? But then when Damodar Ashtakam says, Namokshe graho mesti Damodare, I just jatha prema bhakti, just give me prema bhakti. But you see all the devotees in Bhagavatam who are prema bhakta, they are constantly in anxiety. There is constant pressure, constant push. It's not that they are asking for anxiety, but in service of Krishna there is a lot of anxiety. And that's where this very great pastime of Damodar reveals the anxiety of Mother Yashoda. And this is the month of Damodar we are celebrating. If I'm not wrong, I think no devotee has spoken about this pastime yet, right? Okay, which is good. So we can talk a little bit about Damodar pastime in Damodar month. There is a story that leads to this pastime to come in existence. Because when we hear these verses which are very heavily philosophical and they talk a lot about mind control, sense control, it can give pressure to us as sadhakas, as practicing devotees, that is it just all me, my endeavor, my effort to control my senses? It appears too much. Last night only one devotee was asking me this question, that Prabhu, it is very discouraging because after trying so much, mind just again falls back to the same thing and I feel very discouraged. And the fact is, on our strength, how can anyone cross beyond this material energy? It is just impossible. This duratteya, this very difficult to overcome material energy of Krishna is very hard for a person on his own or on her own endeavor. So the solution for that, for these abhadras, for these unwanted material desires to be removed from our heart is only Bhagavat Sevaya. Nashtaprayeshu abhadreshu nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. And hearing about Krishna or hearing about such pastimes of Krishna does something magical. Dvija Prabhu was also mentioning yesterday that something happens within the consciousness that after good quality reading or good quality hearing, you feel so freshened up and so clean inside that naturally the inclination or desire to enjoy material senses is less. I would not say it's gone, but it's at least you don't feel very enthusiastic about it, at least for a day or two while you are in that zone. Because something very magical happens just by hearing or reading about Krishna. And that can be experienced by a devotee who is reading or hearing, or who is speaking about Krishna to others and they are just listening about it. So both parties, both the sides can experience this amazing purification or this happiness which a person who is listening to and speaking about Krishna comes across. So in this particular pastime where Mother Yashoda is trying to bind Krishna, all the devotees know this pastime. Something happens before this pastime. Balramji comes and complains to Mother Yashoda in the 8th chapter of 10th canto that Krishna has eaten dirt. And Mother Yashoda is very worried that Krishna has eaten dirt and she wants to inspect if he has eaten dirt. Now, Krishna's Vibhuti Shakti, his opulence potency, cannot tolerate Krishna being checked by Mother Yashoda. His another Shakti is Satya Sankalpa Shakti. These Shaktis cannot handle Krishna being chastised or Krishna being corrected. So what these Shaktis did, instantaneously, they revealed the whole cosmos in the body of Krishna when Mother Yashoda asked to open the mouth. So most of the devotees, we understand that Mother Yashoda saw all the universes in the mouth of Krishna. But actually Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur quotes Lord Brahma's prayers that it was not in the mouth of Krishna, it was in the belly of Krishna. And that's where Mother Yashoda saw millions and millions of universes inside Krishna when she tried to find some dirt. Now on the spot, as Mother Yashoda or any one of us would do, is we would naturally become very astonished, very surprised, even afraid that this little boy who is struggling to even do his daily activities properly, who depends on me for milk, is suddenly showing me all the universes. So she immediately questions herself, am I dreaming? Is everything normal with me? No, I'm not dreaming, I am normal. I am not deranged, I am normal. Pinching herself types, I'm awake, yes, I'm awake. What exactly is happening with me? Everything is normal, my vision is exactly what I see. And she immediately turns very prayerful. She turns so philosophical that time, towards the end of 8th chapter, that she starts praying to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. All her memories started coming, that, oh, he's not my son, He is the absolute truth. The whole creation comes from him. What am I trying to do? I was trying to correct him. I was trying to chastise him for eating dirt. But all the universes are there. Not just the universes. Me trying to see dirt in his mouth is inside him. I can see that also. And then Krishna thinks, oh my God, there is a problem here. If my mother starts treating me as Supreme Personality of Godhead, then who is going to feed me? And one most bewildering aspect of Krishna Lila is that Krishna shows simultaneously his babyhood, how a dependent child or a human he is, and then next moment only he shows his godhoodness, that how he is the Supreme Controller, Supreme Personality of Godhead. And you see most of the pastimes or all the pastimes of Krishna, or even many pastimes of Lord Ram, you see, these two aspects are very simultaneously mentioned, appears. That immediately human-like dependency, and then simultaneously he acts as Supreme Personality of Godhead. Lord Ram becomes so dependent that he is asking, Sugriv, please help me, please help me. Hanumanji, please help me, please help me. Angad, you go and find something. Jaman, do you have some solution to find Sita? And then just writing his name, stones can float. Just by his desire, all wonderful, powerful things can happen. Even in this particular pastime, when Krishna thought that if my mother gets too philosophical, it's a problem for me, because who will feed me? Who will take care of me? So his babyhood overpowered his godhoodness. And on that very moment, Krishna covered his material through his yoga maya, not material energy, his spiritual energy, Mother Yashoda. And Mother Yashoda thought, oh my God, he must be hungry. And it was just a switch on and off. He must be hungry, I have to feed Krishna. A moment before she was offering prayers, being very philosophical that, oh, he is the absolute truth. He is Om Purnam, everything comes from him. And then next moment she says, oh, he must be hungry, because Krishna covered. That is the time when Parikshit Maharaj asked this question, that Nanda and Yashoda are Dhara and Drona, who got this boon that Lord will appear as their son. Now Dhara and Drona were instructed by Lord Brahma that you go and you create population as Prajapati. So Dhara and Drona prayed to Lord Brahma that please give us an opportunity to take birth in earth so that we can experience the pastime of Krishna. Now Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur acts like an advocate, and he presents his case so amazing that it is not possible for a sadhana siddha devotee like Dhara and Drona to be on the level of Nanda and Yashoda. So he explains exactly what takes place, that how Dhara and Drona ends up as Nanda and Yashoda. Because he really quotes it, he backs it up with Bhagavatam's verses only. That in 9th chapter we will read that verse that comes, that a sadhana siddha devotee, a devotee through their own austerities and tapasya, cannot act in a way like Nanda and Yashoda are doing, who is controlling the Supreme Personality of Godhead. It is not possible. So he concludes, and he quotes this very amazing verse towards the end of this 9th chapter of Damodar Leela, where he says, Nemam virinchi no bhavo nasrir api anga samshraya prasadam lebhire gopir yattat prapa vimuktidat. And he puts his case forward, quoting three personalities and placing Yashoda Mai above three personalities. And he says, neither Lord Brahma, nor Lord Shiva, nor even Lakshmi Devi, who is always the better half of the Supreme Lord, can obtain the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the deliverer of material world, such mercy as received by Mother Yashoda. So his point is, Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva, even Lakshmi Devi cannot receive what Mother Yashoda received. What did Mother Yashoda receive? In the pastime of Damodar, Mother Yashoda went to an extent that when Krishna appeared very naughty, she wanted to chastise Krishna and tie him to a mortar. And successfully she does. Krishna was very hungry. He was lying in his cot. Mother Yashoda was trying to churn some butter for Krishna. There is milk pot, which is the best milk Mother Yashoda has prepared, and it's boiling to prepare some milk items for Krishna. And here Krishna comes, a very little boy, just somehow trying to walk, and walks towards Mother Yashoda. And Krishna acts in a very authoritative way. Just a very little boy acts very authoritatively. He just comes and stops the churning rod of Mother Yashoda. And for mothers will understand. For them, certain signals are enough to know what the child wants. There is a saying which says that गूंगे की भाषा गूंगे की माँ ही समझती है. When a child who is not even able to speak properly, the only one person who understands that language of that child is mother. Now, as soon as Krishna stopped the churning rod, Mother Yashoda immediately picked up Krishna. Who Krishna? Just now, he has killed Putana, Trinavrata, and same Krishna has just few days before shown all the planetary system in his mouth. So Mother Yashoda, out of her affection, just picks him up and puts Krishna on her lap and starts feeding him her breast milk. And then suddenly she notices, oh my God, the milk I have kept is boiling. I'll be fast forwarding this pastime because we have heard it few times. So she puts Krishna down straight away and runs towards the milk. Now here again you will see Krishna will act like a human child who has just killed Putana, who was I think 14 miles long. Just by his bare hands he killed Putana. Krishna has never ever used any weapon in Vrindavan to kill demons. Just by his bare mouth or hand he has killed. Just by his sucking the breast of Putana he killed Putana. Just by his bare hand he would kill Keshi demon. He would just smash, and just by his hands he choked Aghasur. So he has never used any weapon in Vrindavan. You will never see Sudarshan Chakra coming in Vrindavan or any other weapon. Because in Vrindavan his Vasudev aspect never enters. So now that same Krishna got so upset that how dare my mother, without satisfying my desire for feeding milk, has gone to stop this stupid milk which is boiling on the stove. And Vishwanath Chakravarti writes very beautifully, he says, unless one is on the prema platform, one cannot understand the dealings of a devotee, that how and when they treat Krishna the way they treat. That imagine someone having Krishna in the lap. Suppose we have Krishna in our lap, will we even care for milk boiling? We will not. We will let it fall and just dry off. But she did it. And that's where he writes that only a Prema Bhakta can figure out how and why they act the way they act. So she wanted best of the best milk for Krishna because she had heard enough complaints of him stealing. And she just wanted him to be satisfied whatever is provided at home, which is the best quality. Now Krishna, being Krishna, a naughty child, he picked up a stone without making much noise. He smashed that butter pot, that pot of yogurt which she was churning butter out of. Now again, he acted like a child. Now someone who is so intelligent, that who speaks Bhagavad Gita, who creates practically planets from the pores of his body just by his desire, does not have even that much intelligence that I should not walk over yogurt and leave footmarks so that my mother can follow me. But he walks. He does that mistake also because the baby would do that mistake. And that's how Mother Yashoda traces him. He has bell tied towards his waist and he is not intelligent enough to stop that sound because the mother would chase me following that sound. So he walks over butter. He doesn't stop his belt. He goes to another room, breaks open another pot, starts feeding himself and all the monkeys which are waiting on the window. Now, as soon as Mother Yashoda saw that, she didn't get angry. The specific description is, she just covers her face and she starts laughing. Because this is so cute. That my boy is so naughty. This is just so cute. But now she's a mother. And she follows Krishna, the footsteps he has left behind. And she's watching that Krishna is feeding all the butter to monkeys also, and then criticizing that when monkeys are full, and monkeys say, no, we don't want to eat anymore, He's criticizing that same butter, that how low quality this butter is that even monkeys don't want it. And Mother Yashoda is just watching all of this. And that's where the whole mood shifts. Because Mother Yashoda has a stick which is this big in her hand, and she starts chasing Krishna with that stick. Now again, that same Supreme Personality of Godhead, who just by his mere fist choked Aghasur, whose top of the head was touching cloud, he saw a stick this big, and he out of fear started running and crying. And this is where Kunti Maharani in her prayers is offering this very amazing verse. Gopi adade toi kritagasi damatavad yatte dashasru kalilanjana shamrabhaksham vaktram niniya bhaya bhuvanaya stitasya saham vimohiti bhirapi yad bhiveti. What vimohit? What bewilders me? Kunti Maharani is saying, what bewilders me is when Gopi Yashoda Mai is chasing you with a stick, and you, who is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, of whom fear himself is fearful, is so much scared seeing that stick that your tears are flowing and your whole face is just spread with your mascara, whatever it is called. And Kunti Maharani is thinking, because Krishna has just saved from Brahmastra. Krishna has saved Pandavas from all the agonies. Krishna has saved Pandavas from this great war of 18 days of Mahabharata. And that same baby is running away, crying, seeing a stick. It is very bewildering. And Krishna's pastimes are very bewildering. Krishna's pastimes are very, very confusing if not heard from right sources, because it can really shake the mind back and forth, up and down, left, right, center. How is it possible that a person acts suddenly like this and then suddenly like that? If you see Krishna's pastimes, it is constantly bewildering even devotees and those who are not devotees. Only difference is the bewilderment of Krishna's pastimes, when it happens to the devotees, it increases their pleasure. And the bewilderment through Krishna's pastimes, when it happens to non-devotees who are not Krishna's devotees or who do not understand science of God, it increases their madness. And that's where people say, hum kare to character dhila, Krishna kare to ras leela. If we do, then we are called low character, and if Krishna does, it's called ras leela, the pleasure potency dance with his pleasure potencies. What is this? It is very, very difficult for common people, even saints who do not understand science of Krishna, to defend Krishna's actions. It is very difficult. Just think about it. Before he is born, his parents are in jail. When he is born, he is out of jail, parents are still in jail. Then he kills his own mama. Then he is stealing butter. Then he is stealing clothes of other ladies. Then he is asking them to come for rasa dance. Then he grows up, then he runs away from a battle being a Kshatriya. Then he marries 16,108 queen. Nothing matches the moral standards of this world. Nothing matches. Then he enters the battlefield and he says, I will not lift weapon. He lifts weapon. Then as a Kshatriya, he makes Yudhishthira Maharaj lie. He makes Arjun kill Bhishma Pitama with deceit. He makes Arjun kill Karna with deceit. Dronacharya is killed with deceit. Jayadratha is killed with deceit. Nothing matches the moral standard of a common man. That's why it's very bewildering. It's very confusing when one hears about Krishna's activities without proper guidance. So when devotees see this bewilderment, when Yashoda Mai saw the universes, she didn't become mad. Her love for Krishna, literally Bhagavatam says, especially Vishnu Chakra Thakur quotes, after she saw universal form in Krishna, all the universes in Krishna, and she later came back to her motherly affection, her affection for Krishna just increased after that. Kunti Maharani in her bewilderment is taking more shelter of Krishna. Here, Mother Yashoda, when she is trying to tie Krishna from the mortar, after she finally catches him, she brings ropes as long as 150 feet. And she mentions 2 two very astonishing facts in her experience. She says the rope is as long as 150 feet, 100 kosas. Still, neither the rope's size is reducing, nor Krishna's belly is increasing. Literally, Krishna's belly is maybe 1.5, 2 fist size of Mother Yashoda. It's so small. So Yashoda Ma is saying, my first astonishment is, the rope is not reducing, his belly is not increasing, still I'm not able to tie. But my second astonishment is that even though I'm trying to tie and it is always short, why it is always 2 fingers short? Why not 3? Why not 4? And she practically uses all the ropes possible at her home. And mind you, she has 900,000 cows. And to milk each cow, some rope is required. And all the ladies of Vrindavan have come to experience this pastime. And they are experiencing this very wonderful pastime. They are discouraging Mother Yashoda. They are quoting Karma Shastra. They are quoting scripture saying, Yashoda, when after so much of endeavor, nothing is achieved, you must understand it's not your day today. Just back off. Don't do it. Just don't do it. And Mother Yashoda's determination is, no matter what, this is just afternoon. I started in the morning. Even if it is till evening, I'm going to tie him. And then Mother Yashoda says, stop lecturing me. Go and bring ropes from your home also. And they all bring the ropes. And Krishna is, neither the rope size is reducing. See, you remember her two astonishments. First is, the rope size is not reducing and his belly is not increasing. This is the first one. And second is, why it is always 2 fingers short, not 3 or 4. Why these two astonishments she presents. And we all know, what is this 2 finger represents? The endeavor and the mercy of Krishna. So this is where, when Mother Yashoda is trying to tie Krishna, again Krishna's Vibhuti Shakti, his power of the opulence potency, and his Satya Sankalpa Shakti, that whatever desire Krishna has will be instantaneously fulfilled, is acting in place. Krishna is thinking, if she ties me now, how will I play with my friends? How will I steal butter? How will I go out and have fun? And just because he desires so, his vibhutis, his shaktis are acting, no, nobody can tie Krishna. You can bring a rope which can be equal to circumference of planet Earth, you cannot tie Krishna. But then, the problem is, he has something else also in him. And that is, if a bhakta, if a devotee shows bhakta nishtha, firm faith in serving Krishna, if a devotee shows this bhakta nishtha, this firm faith that no matter what the obstacle is, I will serve Krishna. As we see in the personality of Srila Prabhupada, we all have some preaching endeavors. At least those devotees who are trying to do some preaching. We know how heartbreaking it is when after a few attempts there is no success. And here is a personality who failed for 40 years straight in his attempt to preach, and no results as he desired. All money gone, all success zero, distributing books in Delhi, magazines in Delhi, hit by cows, bulls, heat stroke, heart attacks, practically failure after failure after failure. Prabhupada's endeavor to preach Krishna consciousness is so similar to Mother Yashoda trying from morning to night to tie Krishna, because that's Bhaktanishta. That's the endeavor a devotee makes, that does not matter, I will try my best. And it's very inspiring, actually. And we see devotees now also, they just try so hard. They just try and try so much that Krishna's next potency, which is Swanishtha. And what is his Swanishtha? That steady quality he has, that if my devotee shows his endeavor, I have to be merciful. I have no choice. I am bound. So then Krishna shows his kripa. So this follows simultaneously with the mercy. Now sometimes our efforts can lead to Krishna's mercy very quickly coming forth. And sometimes it can take time. But Mother Yashoda, in her example, she stuck to it. And then of course she binds Krishna. And she binds Krishna amazingly. But that same Supreme Lord who was bound by Mother Yashoda, quoting this particular example, Shukdev Goswami says that her position, because of this one reason, is superior to Brahmaji, Shivji, and even Lakshmi Devi. Because they have never ever done a feat like that at all. And they will never ever be able to do a feat like that at all. And that's why Vishnu Chakra Thakur says, never equate Dhara and Drona on the equal level of Nanda Yashoda. They are just an expansion of Nanda and Yashoda, because Nanda and Yashoda are Nitya Siddha, eternally liberated souls who are associates of the Lord. And Dhara and Drona have entered in the body of Nanda and Yashoda just to experience their desire. Then he goes on to say, Lord Brahma is not capable enough to give this facility to Dhara and Drona that they can experience this pastime of Krishna. A very strong statement he makes. He said, because Lord Brahma told them, okay, if your desire is to take birth on earth, you go and participate in Vrindavan Lila. Vishnu Chakra Thakur says, Brahmaji has no jurisdiction to make it happen. And why he has no jurisdiction? Because he himself is begging, make me a blade of grass outside of Vrindavan. So how can he place Dhara and Drona in the realm of Vrindavan on the level of Nanda Yashoda? So kindly Nanda and Yashoda have accepted Dhara and Drona in their body to experience this pastime. Otherwise, a sadhana siddha devotee cannot control Krishna the way Yashoda and Nanda were doing. Nanda Maharaj is saying Krishna, oh, go and bring my slippers. And tick, 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 tick. He goes, brings slippers on his head and comes to Krishna. Oh, Baba, your slippers. A sadhana siddha devotee just cannot do it. Cannot make the Supreme Lord act like that. So, very, very amazing. And with this one verse, I would finish. Very, very beautiful verse. He says, the same Supreme Lord has no beginning, no end, no exterior, no interior, no front, no rear. He is all-pervading. He has no influence of time. There is no past, present, future for him. He is not affected by any cause and effect. He is not affected by the karma, and he is not bound in the karma. He is not affected by the reactions of karma, and he doesn't perform karma also. He is unmanifested, who is beyond the perception of senses, has now appeared as a child of Mother Yashoda. Considering him her own child, she bound him to a wooden mortar with a rope. And that word used, considering him as her own child, forced Krishna to be bound with this mortar. And that is the prayer Satyavata Muni makes, that Tatha Prema Bhakti is what I want. Na mokshe graho me asti. Mujhe moksha, don't give me moksha. The only thing that I need is Prema Bhakti. Because that only has some possibility of tying Krishna. So with that I'll stop. The pastime continues of Damodar Leela. Maybe some other devotee can continue the pastime. If anyone has any questions or comment, we can discuss. Prabhu. Yes, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Thanks for the nice class. You mentioned at the end just sadhana siddhas can never attain to that prema bhakti level where the Lord, in that Nanda Maharaj pastime, would go fetch the slippers. But then in Nectar Devotion, Prabhupada says that actually pure devotional service purchases even Krishna himself.
Yeah.
So what's the relevance of that statement in Nectar Devotion for sadhana siddhas?
Yeah, so now, Vishnu Chakra Thakur quotes that the position which Dhara and Drona had, who were sadhana siddha, by their austerities, their desire was fulfilled. They could not act like Nanda and Yashoda. They were not capable of acting like Nanda and Yashoda. He's quoting their specific example. It's not a sadhana siddha cannot act on the prema bhakta level, because once you are sadhana siddha, once you're perfected, you naturally with the Supreme Lord, and the Supreme Lord is naturally going to reciprocate with you. But very specifically, Nanda and Yashoda's position cannot be taken by Dhara and Drona. That's his point. Because they are eternally associates of the Lord, and the way they control and deal with Krishna, no one else can do it. So then he further on quotes while explaining that, he says, many other gopas and gopis we see in Vrindavan, were also trying to take shelter of that same mood of Nanda and Yashoda and were just trying to experience that same thing. But no one could do the way Nanda and Yashoda did. So his point he was establishing was that Dhara and Drona are not Nanda and Yashoda. Nanda and Yashoda have mercifully accepted them and given them an opportunity to experience by accepting them in their self. So that's the point he was making. Yeah. Yes.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Thank you for the nice class. Prabhu, I wanted to ask that at what time of the pastime did Satyavrata Muni start praying the Damodara Ashtakam? Was it during the pastime or after the pastime? And is this Satyavrata Muni the same one we see in the pastime of Matsya, when Matsya Deva appears?
So which time of the pastime he starts praying? I didn't get that question because he is just remembering this Leela and he is composing this very beautiful Damodara Ashtakam. So by the look of it, it appears that he is not even there that time. He is a Muni who is later, who has compiled this prayer of Damodara Ashtakam. Then naturally, of course, these are eternal pastimes, so in my memory, I cannot remember if he's the same Muni who was at Matsya's time. If anyone else knows, you can comment, I don't know.
And my second question is that...
I'll find it out for you.
Okay, thank you, Prabhuji. My second question is that you were talking about the pastimes of Lord Krishna and how he is the supreme. He knows everything. So I wanted to ask, if he knows everything and everything is in his control, so how is the Leela fun and exciting for him? Wouldn't there, for him to the pastime to be entertaining, wouldn't there be some success?
You know, when an actor goes on stage, the actor knows in 5 minutes I am going to be shot. So only for acting he can say, oh good, I'm short, I'm just in pain, but he's not feeling the pain. But for Krishna that is not applicable. When Mother Yashoda showed him the stick, Krishna was actually crying. Rudhantam muhur netra yugmam rijantam karam bhoja yugmena sa atanka netram. He is not even showing fear in his eyes. He is showing terror in his eyes. Satyavrata Muni could have used the word bhaye instead of atanka. Atanka means terror. That means very, very scared. Like terrorized, heavily scared. So he's not acting. So Krishna's potencies act in a way that they prepare and arrange everything around Krishna in such a way that he can experience pleasure. Now imagine, just think about it. It's very hard to explain that action, but just think about it. You are walking and there are 10 people around you. Before you desire, they know what you will desire. And you haven't even desired, give me water, but water comes to you. Because in next 2 seconds, you are about to say, give me water. Now you want to just experience heat. And the people who are working around you, they know in next moment you're going to ask, I want to feel warm. And they will arrange the sun to be like that. That sounds very difficult to explain Krishna's workings and his energy is working. But just think about that. Before you say, people who are working around you, they know what you are going to ask. So, like that, Krishna's potencies work to give pleasure to Krishna. If Krishna remembers that I am the absolute truth, I can kill. When Krishna's friends were running in the mouth of Aghasur, Bhagavatam says Krishna actually got confused. Oh, what should I do now? And then suddenly says, why am I worried? I am the absolute truth. I'll go and save them. So his energies work like that. It gives him anxiety. It gives him really sometimes stress. Okay, he has to plan, he has to think. Now how to save? When Putana comes to kill Krishna, now how hard was it for Krishna to kill Putana? Nothing. But Krishna is acting like a baby, he is not even opening his eyes. And if you read the commentary of Acharyas on this one activity of Krishna of not opening his eyes before Putana enters, is just mind-boggling. They give 7-8 reasons why he did not open his eyes just when Putana is coming to kill him. Like, I'll just quote 2-3. He says, Krishna is thinking, she's coming as a mother, but she's a witch. I don't even want to see her face. I'll keep my eyes closed. Then Krishna is thinking, what if I see her? And when you stare at someone, they get scared, why are you staring? What if he sees me eye to eye and she gets scared and she goes away? Then I cannot kill her. So better I keep my eyes closed. Now she is coming to me to feed me milk as a mother, and as a mother I'm going to take shelter of her, but she is a witch. She does not deserve my vision. Like that, back to back they give reasons. Just Krishna is taking pleasure in that same activity constantly of experiencing that exchange with Putana. So all his potencies are like that. And the whole job of this potency agency, to say that, is to just give pleasure to the Supreme Lord. And when we also act in that same line of that potency agency, that to give pleasure to Krishna, we get admittance, we get entry in that same, not as energy of Krishna, but in that same realm or same entourage of Krishna, because they're all meant to give pleasure to Krishna. How is it possible that Krishna's friends are watching Krishna's wrestling match? And that's why Krishna's all pastimes are bewildering. Everything is just upside down. Everything is upside down. His friends are watching his wrestling match, and they see that Krishna has just now killed Chanur, Mushtik, Shal, Toshal and few others who individually could defeat multiple elephants together. And now these friends are thinking, how is it possible? Because we have just defeated him few days back in wrestling. He cannot be this powerful. You know what they say? They are unnecessarily glorifying Krishna and Balaram. This is useless. This is unnecessary glorification they are getting. We will go and show the whole audience that we can defeat him, because we defeated him few days back. And they come on the wrestling match. They come on the arena and they actually defeat Krishna and Balaram. And they get beaten up by their friends. Now how bewildering is that? For a third party who does not understand how devotion controls Krishna, it is so confusing if they just hear it. And the only conclusion they all will come to is this is just folklore, mythology, man-made stuff just to entertain people. There is nothing else people will conclude. And they just criticize and just walk away. Because Krishna's pastimes are designed in a way which gives pleasure to Krishna and his devotees simultaneously. Devotees are also bewildered. Materialists are also bewildered. You understand that? So very hard to describe how his potencies are actually working, but just some relevant example I can think of. Anything else? Or we finish? Yes, Mataji.
We were discussing how the pure devotees, even though the material thoughts come, they don't contemplate on it.
Previous purport. Yesterday's verse.
Yes. So is that the case with the Nitya Siddhas also, or is it only up to Sadhana Siddhas? Does that apply for Nitya Siddhas too?
Nitya Siddha, no.
But
For Nitya Siddha, eternally liberated souls, for them these thoughts of some traces of contamination cannot come. For pastime's sake, Krishna may induce them to do that. Like Yudhishthira Maharaj is saying, I will not lie.
Yeah.
How can a pure devotee say no to Krishna? Who is eternally associate of the Lord, how can he say, no, I will not follow your instruction? And then Krishna has to plead him, no, please, this is the solution. Your brothers will be killed, you will be defeated, please do it. Okay. And there are many such examples. But for devotees who are holding very tightly to their spiritual practices, and they are perfectly doing it, for them their previous traces can come, but because they have very superior taste, they don't give importance to that. They don't give much importance to that. That's what I can think of. Isn't it? Okay. ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय, श्री दामोदर अष्टकम की जय, श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय.
thoughts on your...
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna.